Hey, this is Carrie's Canary Quilts, and this is the next installment of my Birds of a Feather quilt along. If you're new here, I am part of Fat Quarter Shop's Solid of the Month Club. I have been for about a year and a half, and this year's colors are based on the Birds of America. And here's an example of this month, which is Chickadee, and you can see the quilt up in the upper corner is the one they suggest doing, but I don't want to do the same pattern. I want different ones, and so I'm doing bird named blocks each month, and I'm releasing these blocks on the 20th. So you can quilt along with me. You don't have to be a part of that club. You can grab your own fabrics that are bird themed also and do this quilt with me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning experience putting these blocks together. It always is anyway. Putting a new block together is a learning experience. Incorporating all the colors in of the birds. So there's 12 colors in my fat quarters. You don't have to use 12 colors, but I'm using 12 colors, so I need to figure out where to put them. And I love how the black turned out here. It looks like the wings of the chickadee. So this turned out really pretty. And these are the other ones. I've got January, which is darting birds. I've got February, which is hummingbird, and it's the bird nest pattern. This is March, and it's goldfinch, which is ducks and duckling pattern. This is April. It is green parakeet, and it's the goose tracks pattern. So we are almost halfway done with this. But if you want to join us, I have the sign up to my free resource library down below in the description. You can click on that, grab the password, you can grab these patterns, quilt along with us, and all the other fun patterns I've got there. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, you get notified each month when I do these and all the other fun stuff I got going on here, and we'll just have a blast together. And you can see how the quilt turns out in the end. So, thank you so much for everybody who's following me on this quilt along. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of sign-ups on my Birds of a Feather landing page, and so I'm excited that people are doing this. But anyway, let's get started on our Fox and Geese Chickadee May block. Could I have said that any more backwards? How about May Chickadee Fox and Geese block? You can get this pattern and other patterns at our library access page at canaryquilts.com. Click on the library access and it will take you to the page where you can sign up and get the password to get into the free resource library, or you can click there if you have the password. Enter the library and you can type in the password at this time and it'll give you access to all our free patterns that we have up there. This pattern and other patterns are available on this website for you to download. Thank you very much for watching this video. Alright, let's get started on our May Chickadee Fox and Geese block. So this is sort of what it's going to look like. The colors are going to be a little different than my colors here. Couldn't get the exact same colors, but hopefully it'll look very similar to this. And this is going to be a pretty easy block to put together. We've got 5 4 patches, and then we've got 4 hourglasses. It's just going to be how, especially with the hourglass and these, the colors that we put together. And if you're new to this with me, with my Birds of a Feather, what I've done is the letter is the shape that we're going to cut, and it gives you the size for each shape. The number is the color, and I'm corresponding my colors to the Kona, or the Fat Quarter Shop Solid of the Month Club, which I'm a part of, but you don't have to be a part of to do this. But that's kind of how that is how I am doing my colors, so you can, and I've got a chart in the back of the pattern that shows number 1 to number 12, and number 12 is the darkest, number 1 is the lightest. So if you're not using this, these solids, you can kind of coordinate your colors based on my colors if you want to. So that's how my pattern is laid out, and it's pretty easy this month. We're going to cut some squares, we're going to cut some triangles, and I've got my cuts out right now. Right now I've just got squares, and I've labeled, I cut by color, and I've labeled my cuts by color. So the easiest part about this pattern is the larger cuts, which are 5, 7, 8, and 12, need to be subcut. And I'll just show you one, but they're all going to be the same. So I'll take one of my 12s and we're going to just subcut it on the diagonal once. So we'll get these triangles. Just like that. So I am going to get all of mine over here. Like I said, it's my fabric number 12, 8, 7, and 5 are going to get all these subcuts, and then we'll come back and we'll start putting this together. It's really going to be that simple. All right, here's the cuts I just made for 7, 5, 12, and 8. I'm going to set those aside. Now we need to start creating our 4-patch units, and this is kind of where it becomes a little bit of a puzzle trying to put together the colors, but I've laid them out with the color numbers inside each of these, and I tell you how many to make. So we need 2 of our A10, A4s. We need 2 of our A4, A9s, and I wrote the number, I don't know if you can see it, with this erasable pen. I wrote the number up in the corner when I didn't have the number. Let's see, we need 1 of 11 and 2, 1 of 6 and 1, 1 of 11 and 1, 1 of A2, A6, and then 2 of 10 and 3. You can see that I've got the numbers up in the corner here. So these are pairs we want to sew together. And I've decided to iron these open. There's a lot of seams, so I'm going to iron all of these open, and then we can come back and we can start putting them into a 4-patch. All right, here's my pieces put together, and I kept the numbers intact, and I even wrote in corners what numbers they are. So now we're going to put them into 4 patches, and my pattern does tell you what numbers to put together. So let's start with that. So we need we need 1. Let's see. We need 1 A10, A4, and 1 A4, A9, and it's oriented like this. So I'm going to put these together. Next, we need an A9, A4, and it's going to go like this, and an A4, A10, and it's going to go like that. So we'll put these together. Now we need an A11, A2, which is right here, like this, and our A1, A6, which is going to go like that. So it's just kind of like putting a little puzzle together. And an A11, A1, and an A2, A6, like that. And then these two. This is our center of the blocks right here. So we'll put these two together. All right, I'm going to get these sewn together, and we're going to iron these open also. And then our corners and our center will be put together for our 4 patches. All right, there's my 4 patches, and I ironed them individually and then went back and put the numbers in real small erasable pen. It erases with heat in the corners here, because I'm going to need these when I lay the blocks out, because you want these colors to be in certain areas. And then this is my center block, which is a 10 and 3. So we can set these aside. We've got them numbered, so we know where they're going to go in the block in the end. All right, to get started on what I'm calling the flying geese units, we need to put together these triangles to give us some squares. And then when we put them together, the 12s will go together and it'll look like a flying goose in the end. But that's how I'm doing it. And this is how we want to do it. We're going to get 8 B7s and B12s. We're going to get 4 B8s and B12. And we're going to get 4 B5s and B8s. So if we start with B7, B12, you just want to match up the long edges of our triangles. We want to sew those together. And I've got it as iron seams open. Let's see how that goes, and I'll let you know. So I'm going to get all of these put together just like this, get them ironed, keep the numbering intact, and I'll show you how to put them together into what looks like a flying goose unit. Okay, here's all my triangles put together. They're by color, and I kept the numbers above the color. And I trimmed them up, which was mostly just trimming tails up. They were pretty well the size I needed, which is in the pattern. And now I need to build the flying goose unit, if that's what you want to call it. I guess I would. That's what it looks like in the end. I don't usually build them this way, but we want to take all our B7s and put them together with the number 12 fabrics getting sewn together. And we will end up with 4 of these. So I'm going to make my piles so that I know how to sew them. These two are going to be a little different in the fact that we're going to have a B8, let's see, a B8 in this corner for 2 of them, and a B5 in this corner for 2 of them. So we'll have 2 of those, but then we'll have 2 of these, just the opposite. So that's what we need to sew together to get our little flying geese units. And then we will put together our hourglass blocks using these flying geese, I guess. That's what I'm calling them. That's what I call them in the pattern. That's what I'm going to call them here. So I'm going to get these all sewn up, get them ironed open. It seems to be working well doing that. And then we'll come back together and put together our hourglass. All right, there's my units put together. Now it gets pretty easy. You just take 2 of your B7s, your 7 color. You're going to match it up with this one, and then you're going to match it up with that one. And then we'll have basically an hourglass block here. So I've got that we're going to iron these seams open also. So just match up your seams and sew along that top edge. It's going to get a little rough at that point, but you can do it. And then iron that seam open. All right, here's my hourglass units. That's what you want to call them. That's what I'm calling them. And I've got how to assemble the block, and I kept all the numbers intact for the fabrics so that you can see where they go. So I'm going to start laying this out. Let's start with that center, which is that would be the last one right there. Okay, let's put our hourglass units on here. So this is going to be a little bit trickier. Remember, we've got our one side of our hourglass has the same color in the corners of our flying geese, and we always want to have the hourglass unit just like this, with the lighter of this side up here, which was B5. So we got our B7s over here and our B5 up here. Now we want to make, when it's all said and done, we want these 2 colors right here to be the same. So we need another B7 like this. See, same color, but our light color's out here. Now we want to have a straight line of this color here, and the lights out, and then we got our B7s here that are the same color, and now we can just do that. So you can see it coming together here where these 2 colors are together right here, and these 2 colors are together right here. These 2 and these 2. So you can lay it out by color that way. Now these aren't as hard. We've got an A10, A4, A9, A4 up here. Remember, I wrote the numbers up here. And then we're going to have kind of a matching one down here. So it's going to go like that. So we've got our A10 in the corner and we've got our A9s right here. And then the same thing here. Let's see, do I have it correct? Our A1s are going to be, yep, that's right. Our A1s are going to be on the inside and our A2s are going to be on the outside, and then our A11s match and our A6s match. So there we go. Now we just have to put these together in rows, and I have it so that we're always ironing towards the 4 patch. So if you iron towards the 4 patch here and here, we'll have opposite seams going on in there. So pretty simple. And then I'll just, I'm just gonna, once I get all my rows done and put them together, I'm just gonna iron towards the top and bottom row. So there you go. All of that's in the pattern. I've got arrows marking which way to put them. So I'm gonna put my block together and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. It looks pretty cool like this though. All right, I just want to let you know that I put these together in rows. Like I put these two together, make sure they were in the correct position, then I added this one. Put it down in the correct position. So because the colors do matter where they go and you don't want to get it flipped around or get the wrong seam sewn together. So that's how I did it, just by block per row, got my row done, set it back down. And now I iron towards all the 4 patches so that now I can put these together. And these seams that I just made will nest together. And you want to match up all the other seams in between. And then we're just going to iron towards the top and bottom row. And our block will be done. Woo! There we go. There's our May Chickadee Fox and Geese block. And I love it. It turned out beautiful. I love the black just going around here. That turned out really pretty. And all the different colors of a chickadee. That wasn't too bad to put together. It was just kind of keeping track of all the colors. That's really probably the most difficult part, but the block really isn't hard at all. You can see that the seams really disappear there in the black. You can't see them. Really makes that stand out like the wings of a chickadee. Anyway, that's the 5th block we've done. I'm going to be doing 12 of them if you're new here. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You can sew along with me. You can use your own colors, or if you're part of the same club I am, you can use those colors and have a bird themed block at the end of the year, or a bird themed quilt at the end of the year. So I'm going to put the sashing on this, and I think what I'll do is next month I'll do a refresher on the sashing, but my January Blue Jay block has a tutorial on the sashing also. But the sashing is available on all monthly patterns. And you can grab this pattern over my website and quilt along with us. I've got all that information down below. Sign up for the newsletter. You get notified when this comes out each month. I try to put it out on the 20th. And it's been a lot of fun, and they're turning out really pretty. So check out my other videos on this. I do have a playlist for it if you want to check that out. And I had a lot of fun making this block. Had a lot of fun making this video. And I will see you in the next video. And if you're quilting along with me on the Birds of a Feather, I will see you next month. Bye!